Hello, everybody. Welcome to Survival Buffs. My name is Adam.
I'm Gideon
Oh, yours is already better than mine.
because I'm an
Uh,
actor, Adam. There's a reason. There's a reason you're behind the camera and I'm in front of it. You know.
can you do Australian though?
Oh, Sophie. There you go.
Sophie. Um.
Sophie. Nor.
All right. All right. Those are the only two we can do before we start getting canceled. Those are the safe ones, right?
I can do
German.
country. I can do country.
German. Okay. Let's hear your country.
Well, I already talk kind of country, but I can really turn it up and go southern,
Oh
like,
boy.
or I can go more of a panhandle accent. You know, down in Florida. You know.
Um. All right. Well. Moving on to the thing everyone's here for. I'm assuming maybe you guys are here for accents to be a weird thing to join for. If so, congrats on getting lucky there. You know, I had an epiphany after this most recent episode, Gideon. I've already said I like the cast, but I really like this cast after today's
Good.
episode. Do you? Do you like it
I
as much as
do.
I do? Okay.
I do like the cast. Maybe not as much as you do. I don't know. I'd be interested to hear what you have to say, but
I think it's going to take a lot for it not to be top 10 cast, newbie cast. I think it's
that's fair.
already 9 or 10, and we're 4 episodes in of what? There's like 11 normally or 12, so
Yeah.
third of the way through, already top 10.
Yeah.
Definitely better than 41, even though 41 had some highlights for sure. I don't know if this has as many like highlights as 41, but just like
Solid.
the base, the foundation. I like it,
Yeah.
and I don't know what about it was. Actually, I do know. I do remember when I had that thought. I had that thought when the challenge started and Jeff does his getting your first look at the blah 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 tribe, because like in my opinion, what judges a great cast, like personality wise, not gameplay wise, but like personality wise, for me, what judges a great cast is not always what they're like back at their camps or like back at their individual stuff. It's how much you anticipate when they come together and seeing like Marianne and Jonathan and Omer in the same screen as like Drea and Tori and Swati. R.I.P. Swati. That anticipation of like, oh, what's it like when they come together for the challenges, and then eventually what's it going to be like when they come together for the merge. So yeah, when they were all standing on their mats, I was just like, this is a good group. This is a good group we got here. You know,
Mm-hmm.
you
Yeah,
agree?
for sure. I agree.
Okay, well, cool. I'm happy because someone from your team got eliminated this week.
It's about time. It's about time somebody actually.
You're
You know.
still winning, but oh, and guess what, guys? I actually am now able to share my screen like I used to. Um,
Aw, look at
yeah,
you finally being able to do it.
yeah. Many uninstalls of Google Chrome later, and we're here. Still don't think I have a chance, but I do think that Tori's stock went up this week. Mike's stock went up this week. Drea's stock went up this week. Because
I'm
and Romeo, I think I had a boost this week.
well. Let me tell you something, Adam. The
Yeah,
Survivor editors have absolutely ruined Survivor, and I'm just gonna. I know that's a outlandish statement for me to make, but I'm gonna tell you why. Because episode 1, they show a clip of Tori reading off the Beware Advantage.
right,
So when the edit's saying, "Oh, it's either Swati or Tori," and we haven't heard her read the Beware Advantage yet, then
right.
we know who's going home. So I knew it was going to be Swati because Tori hasn't found the Beware Advantage yet.
Same
What the
thing.
frick happened?
Same thing when they voted off. What's his name?
Same thing when it was Zach. It was
When it
never
was
going to be
Zach. Yeah,
Zach. So because the Survivor editors, we two votes have been obvious.
right. Also, like, okay, guys who don't watch Australian Survivor. Here's the thing: Australian Survivor already does what the U.S. Survivor is doing, where they're showing backstories, but they don't flood them all at the beginning. They sort of space it out just like the US Survivor is doing this season and last season, as it goes on. But when you watch Australian Survivor, it is almost impossible to base how they edit, where they put people's um, backstory moments, and figuring out where they get eliminated. I feel like with US Survivor, it's already like when they showed Mariah's going home. I knew it. I knew she was going home. And I'm an editor, so maybe I'm looking into it more. But isn't like everyone kind of an editor nowadays?
I guess.
So with the TikTok generation, I know you don't know much about that realm. I'll give
I
you
don't
some
know too
less.
much about TikTok, but
Yeah, I'll give you a master class after we record today. But yeah, I just feel like the way the editors are showing the backstories, like they showed Jackson's, um, I don't know. It's just like if they show your backstory, there's like a 50-50 chance of you going home. But if they
I
show
know
your
I was worried
backstory,
about Jonathan because of that. They
yeah,
started showing Jonathan's backstory,
right,
and I was like, I looked over at Livy because I was watching it with my girlfriend, and I was
right,
like, oh gosh, Jonathan's going home. I was like, oh
right.
shoot.
Well, here's the thing: if they show your backstory and you're in a power position or a good spot, then usually you're safe because backstory doesn't always mean you're going home. But like
Right.
if they would show like, okay, let me just pull up the cast list. If they would show Daniel's backstory next episode, I guarantee he's going home. If they would show Roxroy's backstory, which I don't think they've done yet, right?
No, they haven't yet.
Then I guarantee you he's going home. So it's like if you're in a bad position, plus backstory shown equals that, like that's the formula, elimination. Because every time in 41 that ended up happening, and every time so far in 42, it's a flawless. So I think they really need to work on that. But we did forget one thing at the intro. Christian, thanks for bringing it up. Yes, we are interviewing Boston Rob tomorrow. Man, this one was tough to pull off. We're live right now. The interview with Boston Rob tomorrow is also going to be live. Don't know how long the video duration is because Rob said he said, guys, the night is yours. My whole night is yours. Ask away. I'm excited. How did we get this interview, Gideon?
A lot of pulling strings, a lot of connections. I'm connected to a few survivors.
Yeah, yeah, we know a
Yeah,
couple.
we know a couple. So
Yeah, we're
doing us a little
buffs.
favor, of course.
Haven't worn one buff this season yet. I'll wear one next time. I'm like afraid to take my 41 off the mark, but
Why?
I don't know. Just looks so nice. I love the color of it. Where's your rack at? Is it behind your window?
Yeah, it's behind. It's behind me right now.
Okay, gotcha. We should be getting the merch buffs soon, right? No?
Yeah, soon, right?
Yeah, I think. Oh, I think they do because the preview, I believe, the merge episode, based on the context of where it was in 41, because this has kind of been a replica season as far as structure. It would seem that the merge episode is not next week, but the following week, and so that's when
Right.
the buffs were shown. But yeah,
Yes.
subscribe to the channel now so you don't miss us interview Boston Rob and become member because you can get interviews early. Are we going to get an interview with the King Tony Vlachos? Hell yes, we are going to get a interview with the King Tony Vlachos in the future. When?
Who
I don't
knows?
know. Who knows? The summer is going to be our big interview window because not a lot of time between 41 and 42. Got exit interviews out of the way, but there's going to be a big break after 42. We have lots of interviews coming up because we know how much you guys like them. So subscribe, become a member so you don't miss those. If you're a member, you get to sit in on the interviews. Barry Dean sat in on the last interview we did with JD. Got to talk to him, ask him questions. So become a member. Go to the Reality Pop main page, hit join next to subscribe. Okay, back to the episode. First thing I wanted to get out of the way, we didn't really talk about it last episode, but because we didn't really see the fallout of it. But I agree with Chanel in the whole thing with Daniel, why does we have to ask Daniel if we get a chance to interview him? We have to ask Daniel why does he feel so backstabbed? Like she didn't have a vote.
I don't think it was a backstab. I think somehow Daniel has convinced himself that he was backstabbed.
I was going to ask you if maybe you thought he like
No.
because
Not
I'm
me.
so confused because he's like I feel betrayed. I feel like I lost. He said like I lost. The trust was broken. I was like, what did she do? She
I
didn't
know.
vote. You asked her who she would vote if she was in this case, which is like, bro, you're the one with the vote, not Chanel. Like, leave Chanel out of this. Like, I
I
feel
know.
like what happened was Daniel got caught blindsiding Jenny and High in a sense, and tried to shift the blame over to Chanel. And Chanel, instead of saying, "Yep, I was involved in that too," yep, she said, "Leave me out of it," which any sane person would have done. And Daniel got caught like a deer in the headlights, and that's how he reacted. He might be at the bottom of everybody in the whole, not only his tribe, but the whole season.
Yeah, I'm worried about Daniel, but if there's anyone that can wiggle their way out of it, he can. I think he can.
Yeah, if he can get to the merge, for sure, he's done with everyone. With he's green, right? Everyone green. He's gonna have to
Yeah.
flop, and I'm sure people are there's obviously going to be someone out there that's going to be open arms, come over to my side. So if he could just squeak his way to the merge, uh, that's going to be tough. That's going to be tough. I'm not going to say that Chanel is totally void of what I conceive as poor gameplay because she, when they come back, she tells everyone in front of everybody that Mike did. I wanted to rewind, but I forgot to. Did she tell everyone Mike had an idol, or did she just tell everyone that Mike didn't have a vote? I thought she said Mike had an idol.
She said that Daniel told her
Told
that
her.
Mike had an idol and couldn't
Right.
vote.
Right. So Lydia didn't know that. At
Right.
least the edit hasn't showed us that, but I would have thought that Lydia would have known that.
Right.
Wouldn't have known that. So Chanel basically in front of the whole tribe said Mike doesn't have an idol, which at this point Chanel hasn't really done anything to get on Mike's bad side, right? It's really just her and Daniel that have fractured.
Yeah. Yeah.
But telling everybody that Mike has an idol, whether you say Daniel's the one that told me this or not, it's still telling everyone that Mike has an idol. So I don't know if I knew that. I don't know if Lydia knew that. So Chanel, like, lost trust with um, High at the vote. Well, maybe we never really got to see the fallout of that, but broke the alliance with Daniel. But from we saw, everything was cool between her and Mike. It just feels like she totally did not have to throw that out there. Any idea? Did you have any take? Was that poor? Did
I
you think
think
that was
that was.
poor?
I don't think it was poor for her. I mean, it definitely throws Daniel under the bus.
Yeah, but he was already at the bottom.
I know, but it just further cements him at the bottom.
But couldn't she have just said, "Oh, Daniel told me that Mike didn't have a vote"? Did she have to say that Daniel said Mike didn't have a vote and has the idol? Did she have to throw that extra, or could she have told Mike that in private?
I don't know. I mean, Chantel's gameplay is rocky, but I don't
Chanel.
think that was Chanel's game is rocky, but I don't think it's. Sorry, I'm so used to saying Chantel from last season, but
Yeah,
yeah, I mean, I don't think it was a terrible move.
right. Do you think the fracture of the Green Tribe? It's similar to. I guess you could say it's starting to look like they are the Green Tribe of last season with Ricard. I forget what was that. What were they
No,
called?
I don't think it's gonna be the case. They don't seem to be on complete self destruct. I think Mike is the glue holding them together.
Yeah, that tribe last season definitely did not have a Mike person. Maybe Brad, but he's not as paranoid and frantic as Brad by
And
any
let me
means.
tell you something
Hectic.
about Mike. I'm loving Mike's gameplay, and I love his
Yeah,
alliance with High and Lydia. the hashtag gays for Mike Alliance.
Yeah. Do you think that their fracture, while it might not have been like a complete implosion, do you think their fracture has anything to do with their poor challenge gameplay in the first in the that reward challenge?
Why? Why do you ask that? I mean, what?
Just seems like they weren't. I mean, Blue Tribe was doing poor too, but they definitely were ahead of Green Tribe. But the Green Tribe just looked like
Yeah, maybe. I don't think so though. I don't think so.
okay. It's just Orange was so dominant that they just made everyone look like schmucks.
Yeah, I mean, I think the editors are eating up Jonathan, to be honest, and I think they're just trying their best to highlight him in every way possible. I think they did that with the immunity challenge as well.
Yeah, he's crazy. If you had to guess right now, what place Jonathan finishes, what would you guess?
7th.
Okay, I was gonna say seventh or eighth. I feel like he'll get to the merge, and I feel like he'll survive like one vote, and then the first time after that, the merge vote that he doesn't win immunity, they're gonna
They'll
send
have
him
some
home.
big storyline with Omer, like finally going like, we've
It's
carried each
time.
other this far, but it's time. We
It's
have to
time.
go against. Yeah, exactly.
If Jonathan does make it to the merge, regardless of how well he does in the next two challenges, but we can assume he's going to do fine. This has to be the greatest pre-merge challenge dominance from a single player in the history of the show.
I
No,
agree.
am I wrong?
I agree. I don't. I don't. I think he's better than Joe. I think he's better than Joe did on no collars.
Because Joe won like every challenge, yes. But Jonathan's not only winning, he's like dominating. Like, and he's doing it solo. Like, Joe definitely was the leader of all of his wins for sure. But it's almost like it's Jonathan out there and then a bunch of ragdolls. He literally is dragging people through the water.
I know. Jonathan was quite literally like pulling the boat and Marianne in this challenge.
Right. Yeah. Um yeah, that was one of the biggest blowouts I probably in challenge history. No, like team challenge history.
I wouldn't say it's the biggest. I feel like I've definitely seen bigger blowouts before, but
Well, what's also crazy with Jonathan though is no one, at least the edit hasn't showed us, no one yet has brought up like, oh man, we got to get him out now before he goes on a tear in the individual game. Is he doing
yeah,
that good?
he is doing that good. But he had a little slip up where he did have a slip up where he let it slip that they were tight.
Right.
You know what I mean?
I did want to ask you about that because I took that as him saying, oh, they were tight, like in the sense that in challenges, they're always locked in and on the same page, which is clear. There's no hiding that. But apparently, Marianne, Lindsay, and Omer thought that everyone else would perceive that as, oh, we're very tight back at camp. And, oh, in the future, when we merge, don't even try to break us because we're tight. I took it as like a challenge thing.
I don't think that's how it's gonna go.
No. What do you mean? You thought
I think it's gonna be like we have to get out those four. Like it'll make the other four be like I want to get out the other four.
you're saying when they merge?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. No, I was just saying Jonathan's comment about saying we're tight. I took that as him saying they're tight as far as they're always on the same page when it comes to challenges.
You gotta be more careful with that wording.
I agree. I agree. Especially nowadays. I feel like you could have got away with that in old school, but everyone's paying attention so carefully to everything you're saying. But I don't think it was too big of an issue. I feel like, excuse me, I feel like the Orange Tribe just is so drama free that this caused like the slightest bit of drama, so they like beat it into the ground and the edit. But I feel like they weren't actually that worried about it. That's just my take. You agree?
Yeah, I don't think it was anything get to put him at the bottom. Absolutely not.
Yeah. But yeah, I just feel like Orange Tribe has been so drama free. They've been like the dominant challenge tribe the whole time, which
Yeah.
historically in Survivor, the tribe that does the best in challenges stays the most drama free for obvious reasons, in that they don't have to go to tribal council. I mean, look at how tight Luvu appeared to be last season. You could say the opposite for the blue tribe. I got to remember these tribes' names. Okay, Ica, the blue tribe. Ica appears to be. I texted. I texted Romeo and Tori after the episode, and I said, "Blue tribe is the drama tribe this season
You
for
told
sure."
them that?
Yeah.
Why did you tell them that? They're on the blue tribe.
Well, I also, but then I responded to each and said, or I followed up with saying, "But I love it."
Okay, you're as slimy as Swati.
Thank you. But am I wrong? Are they not the drama tribe of the season?
Oh, they are. I mean, there is no chemistry in that tribe whatsoever. Like zero, none.
Yeah. I was a little bit shocked at first that Tori was like, "No, I don't want to team up with Rocktroy because we don't get along." I mean, she did end up doing that, but for even thinking of it for a second that she would risk her game just because, oh, I don't get along with this person. At the end of the day, if the choice is team with Rocktroy and survive, or don't team with Rocktroy and it's either you or Swati that goes home, do you even have to think about it?
Yeah, yeah. That's not. I mean, hey, whatever gets you to the next vote. I mean, you have to take Survivor as playing one vote at a time. Like,
Right.
survive to the next vote. Survive, survive, survive.
Yeah. It's like sometimes they forget what the game is called.
Survivor.
Right. Thanks for reminding me. And also, is Rocktroy really that annoying? Like, he's not like Philip on Redemption Island, or Philip and Caramoan, or Brandon Hanson Caramoan. Like, he's not that. He's definitely like, but he's not like. Is he really that bad? Feels like she's the only one that has a problem with him.
I mean, he's just. I mean, he's a dad, bro. He's just doing his dad things.
How old is he?
40 something.
44 from Vegas.
Yep.
I saw Wendell tweeted, "It's probably a good thing that Rocktroy doesn't have social media." I believe that was Wendell tweeted that. Yeah. But I will say, when Tori, right? Is it Tori or Lawyer? It's Tori, right? Yeah, Tori. I will say, when Tori finally realized, okay, I need to schmooze Rocktroy, get him on my side, she did a pretty good job. She said, like, you're working so hard around camp, because clearly that's the thing Rocktroy values the most is hard work.
Right.
Putting work into building the shelter and stuff like that, which, hashtag old school. I feel like saying old school is like the equivalent of saying, like, okay, boomer.
Yeah, it's like the Survivor way to insult.
Yeah.
An old person. Yeah, your gameplay is kind of old school, man.
Yeah. Oh, there you go. Old school mentality. Yeah.
Gosh dang it, Christian, you're so rude.
But what happens when Tori appeals to Rocktroy? Of course, he tells freaking Drea, not only tells Drea, but he tells Drea right in front of Swati. So, like, he spills the beans to Drea, and I'm like, why? Because you learn that Drea is trying to get you out. And the one person you shouldn't tell is Drea. But okay, if you really trust Drea that much that you want to work with her instead of Tori, the last thing to do is to say it in front of Tori's number one, Swati. So, and then at the same time, is Drea really that surprised that she um, would tell him? She's like, "Oh, I can't believe Rocktroy would tell me that," or "I can't believe Tori would backstab me." It seems like the Blue Tribe, as far as gameplay, based on what the edit's given us, we're victims of only getting what the edit shows us. But based on what
Right.
the edit showed us, it
Right.
seems like no one knows how to play on the Blue Tribe. Tori had a good episode, don't get me wrong. And Romeo, I feel like, is probably the best game player. But man, that Blue Tribe, man.
Yeah, they keep getting themselves into trouble, don't they?
Like, why was Drea so mad?
Why was Swati telling everyone she was her number one?
Why did Roxroy tell Drea that Tori was targeting her in front of her?
Why does Roxroy have no social awareness?
Who shot JR? Before your time, maybe. Um, okay, this was a side note I wanted to throw in there. Have you noticed how many times they've referenced this heavy rainfall?
Once or twice.
It's been at least 5 times by my accounts. And like out of the whole show, not just this episode.
Apparently it's in a lot of the secret scenes, the rain.
Well, remember it leaked? Someone not leaked because anyone could have found it, but someone like looked up the AccuWeather of like Fiji during the dates that they were filming, and it was like rain every day. And they keep bringing up this harsh rain. Yeah. And like, I love those moments. I love watching them suffer. That's what makes their victory and their triumph so great, because you see them suffer and they overcome it. So I love watching like when the
like,
camp.
We know it's happening. They're just not showing it.
Yeah, it's so weird. It's like nowadays the editors just want gameplay, gameplay, gameplay. They don't want to show us the hardship. They don't want to show us the fun moments. It's like, oh, we have secret scenes for that. We have a YouTube now. We can put all that stuff on there. All that people care about now is gameplay. I miss it.
Old school.
All right, the one tribe we really haven't talked. I mean, I guess we did touch on the Orange Tribe a little bit.
We touched on Jonathan, and there's not really a lot they did this episode. They're strong. The same thing. There's a little bit of drama with Jonathan letting the bean spill about how close they are, but I mean, that's all we got from them today. Maybe, and Jonathan's a little self-conscious about being called Goliath. Okay.
Well, it's interesting because it's like, what really is the power dynamic of Orange? Because you could say, oh, it's Jonathan because he's the one carrying them a challenge, so he's the most invaluable. But that also means he's the biggest threat physically. Right. Yeah. You could say, oh, it's Omer because he's the one that's tight with Jonathan. But power couples, which doesn't have to be a guy-girl thing, power couples can be JT and Fishback. He's the brains behind it. So that doesn't put him in a great position. You could say, oh, Lindsay, but like she's kind of feels like she's, like she's in there, but she maybe doesn't have the biggest voice in there. So you could say, okay, the obvious person at the bottom is Marianne, but she has the idol. Now, don't get me wrong. If Orange loses before the merge, it's for sure Marianne, right? Am I wrong in that guess?
Oh yeah, it's Marianne.
Right. So, interesting that speaking of Marianne, that she's like, man, has no one found the idol? Like, we have to ask her when she comes on. Did she ever once consider that other people found it and just weren't saying the phrase? You know what I mean?
Probably not. I don't think that's something she probably is picking up on.
Yeah. But yeah, so I'd say Marianne would be the first out. I don't know who. If you had to look, what's the Green Tribe? You got Hi, Chanel, Daniel, and Lydia? No. Yeah, and Mike. Right? Yeah. If they lose next episode, who would you say goes home? I think Daniel.
Yeah, it's got to be Daniel.
And then Blue Tribe, Roxroy, Tori, Drea, and Romeo. It's got to be Rox, no?
Um,
Or Tori.
maybe. It depends. Does Tori find the advantage? You know?
True. Could you imagine if Drea found that? She would have the amulet, the steel of it. I'm also by each episode I'm forgetting more and more what the amulet is. They got to like do a refresher at some point, but
Mm-hmm.
okay, one thing I wanted to talk about the challenge. Why did they choose Lydia to be one of the jumpers?
I don't know. Lydia does not have a vertical, so that made no sense to me.
She's also like 5'3". Like they made it very clear what the challenge was. I mean, they didn't lose, but that's because I forget who did the puzzle for them. Was it Mike and Hi?
No, Mike and
No,
High hugged as
right. Chanel and
as
Lydia.
Chanel and Lydia did the puzzle.
Right. Yes. Well, yeah. Props to them. That was close though. That was close.
Good challenge.
Speaking of the challenge, did you hear the bass line come in when they were doing the puzzle? There was like a dun 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 dun, like a
No,
bit
I
like a
didn't.
it was like a funky bass. It kind of reminds me of like the music that
Did
was
not
in
pick that up.
like yeah, maybe it's just because I have a subwoofer and it was like right next to me, but um they it reminded me of like the music from like seasons 1 or 2, like before Jeff started talking, and they almost kind of had like some hip hop beats in there a little bit. It was I don't know.
Oh yeah.
But yeah, so props to Lydia and Chantelle. Really, the only thing we've seen of Lydia, which is crazy. She's like, are we ever going to see Lydia's personality come out? Like, she's such a super cool personality on social media, but she's been like the Heather of this season. You know what I mean?
Yeah, I know. Lydia's not getting a lot of love right now, which makes me think she probably didn't do that good. But who knows?
I mean, you could say Erica had a bad edit in the first 4 episodes, but there was still people that were like, Erica's a threat. We got to get her out. No one's saying that about Lydia.
Oh yeah.
You know, I mean, does she have the smallest edit? I'm trying to look if anyone else.
Mm,
I think she has the smallest for sure. Yeah,
mm.
yeah, of that list. You know what else was weird? The challenge was Roxroy got so mad that they lost again. He's like, I can't believe we lost again. And I'm thinking like, wait, you guys won the last 2. There's only been 3 episodes before this.
Yeah,
Like they
I know.
have
I mean, you gotta be frustrated because going to tribal council, it gets old after a while. But
right. I love the chaos that Tori was creating. I think
Tori had a great episode.
sometimes I think the best strategy is just throwing a bunch of shit at the wall, seeing what sticks.
That's what you have to do when you're at the bottom, Adam.
Yeah. No, really enjoyed watching Tori. It felt like there was no right answer, so she just sort of put everybody under the bus at some point, but except Romeo.
How could they not tell that Tori is a therapist? I mean, she talks like a therapist. When she was this whole episode, I was like, "This is a therapist trying to manipulate people." Like, if I was on the island, I'd be like, "You're a therapist. You've read you've read Sigmund Freud, my friend. You know what's going on here."
Right. Do you feel like Swati could have done anything to save
Yes,
herself?
I do.
What would you have done if you were her?
Kept her mouth shut
At tribal or
about stop playing both sides, be transparent, because or don't say things to people that you can't trust. Like, if you're gonna say something to Tori, she's at the bottom. Why would you give a secret to somebody at the bottom? It makes no sense.
right? I did think she brought up good points, but it was probably like a tribal, but it might have been like a little too
Too
late.
late.
Too late. Because it's true. I mean, like Tori decided to tell Roxroy that Drea was, had the extra vote and that she had too much power and that they should blindside her.
Right.
And somehow all of that got put on Swati. even though it was basically proven that Tori did it. But I think Drea was just like, I made up my mind. I don't know. I don't think Drea had a good episode. I don't think Romeo had a good episode. I don't think Rox or Swati had a good episode. Yeah. I don't think any of them did really.
Just messy gameplay.
And like Swati played her shot in the dark, which this was probably the best time someone could have of any time it's been played. But I'm really starting to think like 1 and 6, like it was played what, twice in 41, or was it just Sydney? Just Sydney, but 3 times this season so far, right?
Yeah, we're 0 for 4.
0 for 4. I feel like it should either be 1 and 4, or you still get your vote, but you still can only play it 1 time.
Nah, I don't think you should still get your vote.
I would rather have one of those options. I would rather have 1 and 4, but
1 and 5.
I mean, 1 and 6, just yeah. I mean,
I don't think it should be a thing. Period, Adam.
No,
I mean,
I agree. Do you think Swati getting voted out was more on her or more of just good gameplay by Tori?
oh, I think it's on her, 100%. I think it's more dumb gameplay by Swati.
I mean, Tori did have a good episode. I do think that's part of it.
Yeah, but it was highly helped by Swati's really bad gameplay.
Yeah. Yeah. So Swati's gone. Let's see. Swati was on. Oh, your team. Huh, interesting. All right. So slowly catching up. Remember, the more points, the better. You don't want to have less points, as is in most games. We predicted Swati 2 episodes ago, so I guess that was a fair statement. Yeah. If you had to guess who's going home next, who would you say? I'm going to go with Daniel.
Okay, you're going with Daniel because he's on my team. I'll go with somebody on blue, which is your entire team.
Rox.
Probably Rockshore, yeah.
Yeah.
Look, man, as you can see in my draft order, wasn't very high on Swati anyways because she's an Ivy League student and they always overplay.
Right.
So, yeah.
All right, MVP of the episode. Who are you going?
Woo, that's tough. That's tough, man. I can't give it to Jonathan because he did slip up, so I can't give him a player of the episode. Right. I guess just like based off of being able to steer the vote and being able to, I'll probably have to go with giving it to Tori.
Yeah, me too. I texted her MVP of the episode after that, and she said, I'll take it. Actually, I told her she reminded me a little bit of Chaos Cass, but in all the best ways. And she said, I'll take it. That's what I told her. Yeah, I think it was Tori. I agree with you. I think Jonathan, again, did great in the challenges, but yeah, had a slip up, not a big one, but I think Tori just, steered the vote. And honestly, think of it. If Tori hadn't told Roxroy that Drea was after her, it started this chain reaction. And then Tori talked to Drea and sort of put all the blame on Swati. Those were 2 big moves. If those 2 things hadn't happened, it might have been Tori that went home. So you could say that Tori essentially not only saved herself this episode, but I think she jumped ahead of Roxroy. I still think, obviously, Romeo and Drea are the power team of the Blue Tribe, but I don't know. I think Tori, MVP of the episode. Yeah, she gets my Russell crown this week. She gets the Adam crown this week. Tori. Preview for next week. Looks like Jonathan. Jonathan might. What do they say? Something happened with Jonathan.
I think Tori finds the idol next episode.
Well, another thing too is that they could be deceiving us. Maybe Roxroy finds it and shares the clue with Tori, and she's reading it.
Yes, because if there's anything I think Roxroy will do, it's go looking for an idol, because he's the definition of new school gameplay.
Well, he could stumble upon it. Because
anyone's
Marianne,
gonna find it other than Tori, it's gonna be Romeo.
yeah, but Marianne stumbled upon it, right? It was just kind of like, oh, here's the idol. I don't know.
Don't think it was a
But
stumble.
it wasn't a full on excavation though. It was somewhere as a middle ground. But all right, guys. Well, that's season 42, episode 4.
Good episode. Good season so far.
Glad to be back on day after podcasts. So we apologize, guys. We have been doing these on Sunday, but unless something crazy happens, these will be day after for the rest of the season, which means we can start having guests. As of now, it looks like we might have. I don't want to say it's a for sure thing, but Sarah from season 42 might be on next week. She said she'd be down. We'll see. I'm going to try to get JD soon as well. But the week after that, we have Peridium. Hopefully for multiple. Be cool to get Peridium on. I would love having him on. The show just has this crazy, crazy knowledge of Survivor. It feels like if you guys have ever seen Pawn Stars, every time they buy something, they bring in like the buddy or the experts on that specific thing. He just, man, the knowledge that guy has of freaking Survivor. And a lot of good takes too. So hopefully we can get him on for more than one.
He predicted the Erica win.
Yeah.
6 episodes in, so I'll
Yeah.
be interested around episode 6 who Peridium thinks is gonna win.
Yeah. We're also going to have after the merge episode, we're going to have Coach Drew and Emily from Survivor Hot Takes, Reality Hot Takes. Have said they're going to come on. Get some international people on here too. Down the road this season, we're still going to have Tiffany and Boche on the same episode. Super excited for that. Going to try to get some more. Some more. I'm sure Carl will be back. I'm sure Libby will be back. What do we got?
Press release for episode 5 just came out. I'm Survivor Rich. It's day 10, and patience is running thin for some of the tribe members. Immunity's on the line when tribe gets tied up.
Oh, boy.
That's all they're saying.
Whoa, Nelly. All right. There you have it, folks. Tis been a good season so far.
Yeah, I'm thoroughly enjoying it.
All right. Guys, thank you for watching. Subscribe. Go to our main channel, Reality Pop, and join so you can sit in on interviews. You ever wanted to meet JD? You ever wanted to meet Ricard? Now you can do it. Just become a member. And you get a chance to win a buff. We said we do a buff rally? What's the word I'm looking for? Raffle. Jesus Christ.
You're dumb.
So that'll start with the merge episode. We'll start our raffle. Last year, Barry Dean won. Why did he win? Because he got a bunch of extra entries because he was a member. So he got a free idol or free buff, which just shipped out today for the first time because he lives in Australia and because of COVID, they had all these restrictions. But so Barry, if you're watching this, your buff is on the way. But yeah, you can win a bunch of prizes and stuff as a member. Talk to us, come chat. Also, join. We have a TikTok and we have a Discord. The links to both are in the description. The Discord is super fun. We talk about Survivor stuff all season long with a bunch of obviously Survivor fans. And you can find us on Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, and you can listen to us on Google Podcasts, Spotify, Apple Podcasts. Oh no, but where are we going to find the links? Yeah, they're right there in the description, buddy. Just go check. All right. Whew. How about Will Smith, huh? Yeah?
Nope.
How about that Will Smith thing, huh?
In the episode.
Chris Rock, man. Yeah. Should we talk about that for an hour?